CSV file from CollectionsIndex Plus, how to then import that into Excel and to change the column visibility to make the report a bit more usable. So here I have a search on objects that have pewter in the record somewhere or other, and in this case it's actually found 18 objects. To select the object to put into the report, you can either click on the box in the top left hand corner of the search results, which will select all of the items, or you can click individual ones. So in this case those 4 will be selected. If you've selected one that you don't like, you can unclick it. And in fact, the way this works, if you don't click any of them, it will assume that you want all of them. So we go down to the bottom of the search results and we see here export all records as CSV. So you click on CSV and it's added a CSV file into the downloads folder, and if we open up the downloads folder, you'll see I've done 2 exports already, and I've renamed those. One I've called tin, which contains all objects with the word tin in them, and another one here with the word enamel. The CSV file I have just created is called export by default, and I have a choice. I can either rename it here by selecting rename and giving it a new name, or I can leave it as it is, and when I've imported it into Excel I can change the sheet name there. So let's leave it as it is and have a look at Excel. I'm going to open the file with the macro in it, which in this case is called CI update CSV. And because it's the first time I've opened it, I get a security warning because it's got a macro inside it. So I have to accept that, enable the content, and it will then ask me whether I want to trust this document. And I say yes. Having said yes, it will remember that, and every time I open this file or this Excel spreadsheet, it will automatically know that it's a trusted document. So you only have to do this the first time you use this spreadsheet. So I'll say yes. Now on the start page or start section, there are instructions as to how to import a CSV file and what you can then do with it having imported it. So have a read through those, print them off if you want to. Hopefully it will give you a good guide as to how to go about this. And if you read them, you'll see it firstly tells you that to import the CSV file, you're going to choose data from the menus at the top of the screen here, and then this one here, sorry, it normally comes with a narrative and it didn't this time. So from text CSV, that's the one you want, and we click that little icon and it should ask us to choose a CS file to import. So if I go to my downloads folder, the last one that I downloaded from CollectionsIndex Plus is called Export, and I click or double click on that folder and it will open it. It takes a bit of time because it's trying to work out quite how to format this particular CSV file. It will give you an example of how it's going to do so, and you then select load down here at the bottom of the screen. So I'm going to click load. It's giving me a narrative of the things I've done so far. We can ignore that, close that particular window, and here you'll see I've got a new spreadsheet or worksheet called export, which doesn't tell me very much at all. It could have been exported from anywhere. I don't know what's in it. So if you didn't rename it in the downloads folder, you can rename it here by right-clicking on export, and I'm going to say rename, and I'm going to call it pewter, which is the search criteria that I was using. Press return, and here I am in that worksheet, and you'll see across the top of the columns is the column reference, and if I right click on any of the columns, you'll see there's an extra menu option right down at the bottom of the little pop-up menu that appears called Hide CSV Columns. Click on that, and here is what the macro looks like, and you've got various choices. If you've already hidden some columns and you'd like to unhide them so that you can see all the columns, you can do so here. I'll show you that in a moment. Or if you'd like to hide all the empty columns, i.e. columns that have got nothing in them, then you can do so. And I'm going to do that now. You'll see down at the bottom it tells me that there are 319 visible columns currently in this spreadsheet. If I click on hide all the empty columns, I'm down to 48. So there are a lot of columns that are empty because there's no data recorded in CollectionsIndex Plus for these records. Now it's possible that a different search will come up with columns that have been filled in, so 48 isn't necessarily the answer to every query, but in this case it is. And if I choose to list the visible, it'll give me a list of all of the columns that are still in this workbook, or worksheet should I say, and are currently visible. Now the macro doesn't remove any column, all it does is hide or unhide them. So if you have already got rid of some of the empty columns and have selected some here to get rid of, and you decide you've made a mistake, then you can or unhide those columns and go back to where you were. So here we are, we've got 48 visible columns. I'm going to select some of these, and there can be any, top, bottom. Just go through, and I then come down here and I say I'd like to hide the selected columns. Now I don't know how many I've ticked, but we're about to find out how many are left. If I click hide selected, I see that I've got 34 left, and it's relisted all the columns that are still available to me. If I would like to go back and unhide everything so that I can start again, then just clicking unhide all columns will get me back to the original 319, and if I list them, I get every single column that's there, whether or not it's got any data in or not. So once again, to hide empty columns, I click yes, and it's reduced the number. If I want to see what columns I still have and select those I want to delete and get rid of, then I hide the selected headings here and click the hide selected, and I'm down to 41. If I've done everything I need to do, and you can open this particular macro up multiple times, so you could potentially print off this report and then come back and hide some more columns or open some more up. But let's say we're finished for the time being, so I click finish, and here is the worksheet ready to be further formatted. You see it's automatically put headings in, and it's actually automatically set up filters. So if you want to just look at accessioned items, just accessioned and not the support ones, if you click OK, it will reduce the report to just accessioned. Or if you want just support ones, similarly, if you just click support, or if you want them all, then select them all. You can also sort on these columns should you wish to. And the other thing it has done automatically is color code every alternate column just to show the columns or the records slightly separately. You'll see I've got reports in here for a previous search for tin and enamel, and obviously you can add as many worksheets to this spreadsheet as you wish. And that's it. Apart from, I suggest you save the file before you finish. It should warn you. If you've made changes, it should warn you, but it's always good to practice to select to change it. And you could, if you wished, choose to do a save as to give it a new name, but that's entirely up to you. Okay, that's it.